Good morning, it's Anand here from Osho, Ireland, and today is the 73rd meditation technique from the Book of Secrets. And we're moving away from the light techniques and now doing, Osho calls it conscious doing. So there's a few of these techniques that are around conscious doing, and the first one is in summer, when you see the entire sky endlessly clear, enter such clarity. Now, in Ireland, it's October, or actually, no, it's September, and it's not summer. And today, there's not a clear blue sky. So, I'm doing this technique a little differently today. And in this technique, Osho gives suggestions on what we can do when we don't have a clear blue sky. But if in your country you have a clear blue sky, you should set aside 40 minutes for this technique. And I'm going to go through what Osho says in terms of how to do this technique. But what he asks us first, okay, is to consider what is mind. So to you, what is mind? And Osho shares and says it's a continuous process of thought, a continuous procession of thoughts, associated, non-associated, relevant, irrelevant. To me, when I think of mind, I think of a very, very busy city, and it's full of people and noise and everything moving and everything. And our mind is like that, and it's just rapid all the time. And Osho shares that we cannot switch off the mind. And a lot of people look for that in meditation. They think they're failing because their mind is still going. That's okay, that's the mind. These techniques that Osho is sharing with us is about bypassing the mind, becoming no mind. So just the mind is there doing its thing, being busy. And he likens this technique to on a clear sky. The sky is pure, untouched, virgin, if you want to use those words. It's just there. And in front of it, you've got all the clouds moving through it. Small clouds, big clouds, fat clouds. Currently I'm looking at the sky from my kitchen and there's lots of grey skies. They're really thick. They're moving a lot. There's a bit of wind. And that's what our mind is like. And we focus on the clouds instead of the sky. And this technique is about us focusing on the sky. And when we allow the clear blue sky to enter into us, it meets our inner sky. And we get moments of no thought. And that's what we're looking to allow happen here. And Osho shares 3 elements for us for this technique. So what he says is, if you meditate on open unclouded sky, suddenly you will feel that the mind is disappearing. The mind is dropping away. There will be gaps. Suddenly you will become aware that it is as if the clear sky has entered in you also. And he goes on that we should lie on the ground, supported by the earth, a lonely beach, a quiet hill, wherever's good for you, and lie back, looking at the sky, allowing it to enter you. And he shares 3 things that we should be mindful of when we're doing this technique. The first, he says, is don't blink, stare. He says, even if your eyes start to feel pain and tears come down, don't be worried. Even those tears will be a part of unloading. They will be helpful. Those tears will make your eyes more innocent and fresh, bathed. You just go on staring. Now I'm going to put the health and safety element here. When you're staring at the sky and the sun is there, don't stare at the sun. Stare at the sky. Okay? The second point he says, and this is very important, don't think about the sky. Remember, you can start thinking about the sky. You can remember many poems, beautiful poems about the sky. So don't get into a dialogue, oh, that's a very beautiful sky. And oh, yes, I remember when I was this and that. And a day I was on the beach. And suddenly the mind, you're in the mind. It's just allowing the sky to penetrate you, to be open and vulnerable, to allow that clear blueness come through. And then the third point is the clarity will help the third point. Enter such clarity. Don't think about it, just be aware of the clarity, the purity, the innocence. These words are not to be repeated. You have to feel them rather than think them. And once you stare into the sky, the feeling will come because it is not on your part to imagine these things. They are there. If you stare, they will start happening to you. So if you can, spend about 40 minutes staring at a clear blue sky. And as I said to you, when there's not summertime and the sun or the sky is very cloudy like it is for me, Osho says, what can we do? He says we can close our eyes and if you see some thoughts, just see them as if they are floating clouds in the sky. Be aware of the background, the sky, and be indifferent to the thoughts. And he says that there's a gap between each thought. So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes because I have a cloudy sky, and I'm going to watch the pauses, the gaps in between each of my thoughts. And that will help me get to my inner sky. So if you want to do that with me, just come along and enjoy the meditation. And when it's over, I'll ring 3 bells. I'll see you next Sunday at 11 a.m. for the 74th technique. Have a beautiful day, and thank you for joining me. May you have a lovely journey discovering these techniques. I know I am.